Hello and welcome to Gamersledge podcast. Come on in, sit down and relax. Have yourself a cool glass of air drink, because I don't have anything this evening. It is a conversation about the video game industry, a look at what it means to be a hardcore gamer, and a conversation amongst friends. Turo, do the theme song.
Boom. Boom. Gamersledge podcast. We have news, reviews,
Yeah, okay, just stop. That's
stuff,
enough.
comic books, video games, and movies.
Yeah.
And 3, 2, 1.
There you go.
I went backwards. Whatever.
Yeah, you did. So that's obviously Turo. Next to him is Kate.
Hello.
And next to Kate is Matt.
Howdy.
And I am, of course, your trusty host, Mark. We have some video game news. It's going to be a short podcast. We gotta love technology. We had a few technical issues, or I had all the technical issues, is the easier way to say it, this evening. But let's go around the room and talk about what we've been playing this week. Let's start with you, Kate.
I actually played quite a bit of Record Keeper. I was like this close to giving up on it, because it's like, I was just like, ugh. But then I got through the whole Balthier event, because I hadn't done that at all, and I mostly got through the Final Fantasy VIII one.
They did Final Fantasy 12 and Final Fantasy 8 back to back. That if that doesn't say Kate play me, I don't know what does.
Hmm. And, well, the fact that they're going to have pain in it eventually is like, yes, please. So, yeah, I'm sticking around for it. I did get Squall's burst weapon.
Nice, I did too.
So now Cloud and Squall both have their burst weapons.
Which is ridiculous, I might add.
Played some Dead or Alive Extreme 3, of course, working on my blog project. I don't think I played anything else. I did finally see Deadpool, though.
Nice.
And did you like it?
I've already watched it like 5 times, so I guess I did. That's it.
Turo, how about you?
The Gears of War beta ended on Sunday. That was a little bit of a bummer, but it was fun, and I can't wait to keep playing. Oh, remember how that there was a pinnacle? Remember how I said that it's you suck at the game, you suck, and all of a sudden it's just like, you're the expert. Yeah, it finally happened second to the last day to me. I was just on the top of my game. Oh, my kill death ratio is beautiful, and I was like, here we go. And as soon as I started getting awesome, they took it away. That's Spelunky like crazy, because I finally did beat the game, but now I'm trying to go to hell. Yeah. And then Clash of Clans and Clash Royale, they just have 2 huge updates. Clash Royale had a huge update yesterday where they introduced 6 new cards, and Clash of Clans just announced a tweak on a certain really crappy new character, and they're changing. They're speeding up times on training, permanently on all like characters across the board and spells, which is a huge deal. So it's really cool. So like certain characters take 40 minutes just to cook. Now they're only 15. It's amazing. It's amazing. So yeah, those boom, and working like crazy. Boom.
Matt, how about you?
Still playing some Tap Titans. Yeah, I know. What can you do?
Not play that?
Could, but no. Yeah. Until something comes along that can steal that as my, okay, I play this so I don't kill people on the other end of the phone. Played and beat The Order 1886.
Nice.
That was
How
quick.
long did that take?
According to the PSN profile site, 1 day and 18 hours.
I keep meaning to go and beat that game.
So yeah, it's quick. So it's
wait. It took you a whole like game time, or wait?
No,
what?
like real time, like 24 plus 18 hours from.
Wait. So
that
it
seems
took.
like a.
That seems like an awful lot. the game, the entire like mode is only like 8
No,
hours
no,
long.
that's what I'm saying. From the time I started playing till the time I finished it was 1 day and
Oh,
18 hours. So
wait,
most of that was not playing.
you were just. Oh, I get it. You lived life, and in your
I
one day,
existed for 1 day and 18
it didn't
hours,
take you that long to beat it. It in the span of a day and 18 hours, you beat it, which says a lot.
which says a lot considering,
I
yeah.
get it. Awesome. Okay. All right. Got it.
So, how much game time? Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't much, and most of it was restarting chapters to farm trophy things. So, then
Oh, good job on platinum on Ratchet and Clank, by the way.
Oh, thank you, thank you. Yeah, I platinumed to 1886 too, and I don't think I've ever had two platinums sitting side by side in my life before.
That's awesome.
I have, but it's because I play way less games than you do.
Yeah, but then I decided to go through and try to play all of the games that we got for free on Plus yesterday. So I tried Bionic Commando Rearm 2. Yep, those games still are hard and are still probably more than I want to put time in to do. The Tabletop Racing World Tour, which was a free game, it was also a launch game this week. It's not bad. Okay, not bad in terms of it was me versus the computer on the easiest circuit for the first cup. So set the bar there, but it wasn't bad. The controls are pretty decent. The selections of cards at the beginning kind of stinks, but once you start to get money and stuff and can get the options and new cars and stuff unlocked, it's not bad. I'll probably be playing that one off and on for a while. There is multiplayer, but I did not delve into that at all. Also tried out the Switch Galaxy Ultra, which was one of the Vita games, but also had a PS4 version for cross-buy. I'm not entirely sure what the point of the game is. It's kind of like Wipeout meets Amplitude, but without the rhythm aspects. So, yeah, I'm still trying to figure out if I just didn't make it far enough into the game to figure out what the point of it really is. But you have to switch tracks going in between planets, but all you're doing is switching tracks. There's like no point to it. I'm not quite sure what that one's all about yet. And then I had tried out Tropico 5 before on a demo, so I didn't throw that one in, but I did instead picked up Shadow Complex Remastered and started playing that. And it's Unchartroidvania. Yeah, Unchartroidvania. That's my new term.
I'm just going to go ahead and pick it now as our Giga Game of the Week.
I think it is. When you and Dave both like the same game, something's going on there.
It's actually one of those few games that was an actual Xbox Arcade exclusive.
Yes.
That I couldn't get on a PlayStation platform, and I've always wanted to play it, and man, it does not disappoint.
No. Now, the story stuff is a little...
Yeah.
it's campy.
But the gameplay is actually really fun.
Yeah, the gameplay is really tight, and the seamless being in the foreground. What do they call that? 2.5D, I think was the terminology, where there'll be some enemies in the foreground or background, and the aiming for that's really intuitive in what's normally a single plane experience. So that was really impressive. And then obviously Nolan North.
Yeah, so it's like Unchartedvania.
Yeah, that's what I said. Unchartroidvania.
Yeah, there you
go. I was actually expecting something more sci-fi from what I had heard. So we're starting, as far as I got, I'm starting to see some of those elements because I fought like a mech. I guess it's the first kind of sub-boss. So I was starting to see some of those kind of elements, but I was expecting something more sci-fi. And I had this idea. It was a little more toward the Metroid vein of things. So it was a little bit of a surprise that it was a little more not that. But yeah, so that was that, and I still haven't made it back into the Wasteland, which is really starting to frustrate me because I need to get back into that game. So, and that's Fallout 4, which I did not play. My plan was to play that yesterday, but instead I fixed my wife's friend's computer.
Well, let's see. For me, obviously, I added a couple things to the background here. So that was a big chunk of my weekend and week of playing time. But we also got the new VR Beast box in, and so I dipped back into Darkest Dungeon, which should be coming out very soon for consoles. I also, Matt, I think you and I were talking about this. Mounty Ohm, who did the Dead Fantasy series, he actually did an anime like CGI anime series called Ruby, RWBY, and there's actually a game called Ruby Grim Eclipse that's in early access on Steam, and I actually downloaded that, and that is a fun little beat 'em up. You can have up to like 4 players multiplayer online. That's really fun, really well done. I was actually very surprised, and it used a lot of the clips from the show for the voice acting, so it's really nice. I have been playing the hell out of Final Fantasy Record Keeper because I needed to grind as much mithril as possible so that I could try for Squall's thing. I had actually burnt most of what I had on Balthier's round and didn't get jack squat. I got Fran's bow, and that was not what I wanted. So anyways, when Squalls came around, I ended up grinding enough out for two 11 pulls, and on the second one I got it. So
I got it on my first one.
I got 5 on the first 11 pull. I got 5 of the ultra, the 5-star or betters. 2 of them were the same item.
If you can combine them.
I did, but still, kind of, that could have been Squall's thing in the first pull. But yeah, it's all right. I got it on the second.
So has the drop rate gotten better then, or is that anomalous?
No, that's anomalous. It's
okay.
In fact, there was a big uproar during the Final Fantasy Tactics event because they actually tweaked the drop rate so that if you did the math out with the decimals, it was actually harder to get things, and everybody's like, "I'm quitting the game," and I don't think anybody quit the game. What else did I play? I played the hell out of Shadow Complex. I was gonna play like an hour, and then I ended up playing 4 or 5 hours.
Oh wow! So you must be way ahead of me.
Yeah, I'm like way deep into it. At first I was like, how far does this complex go? I'm like, wait, the name of the game Shadow Complex. It's probably big. It's not Shadow Complexes. It's Shadow Complex. So I'm guessing it's pretty far into it. But really, really tight mechanics, tight gameplay, a lot of fun, very interesting and easy to pick up concepts. So I definitely recommend checking that out, especially if you never got the chance to play it on X bot. Hey, Turo, did you play Shadow Complex?
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
I played it on the 360, and now it's remastered. So
Yeah.
Shadow Complexes.
Yes. I also played Dark Souls 3. The game is still really doing good things in my opinion. It does have some issues, but it's still a lot of fun. And I played something else, and I can't think of what it is. I'll think of it, I'm sure, at 3 a.m. in the morning. But yeah, that's been about it for me. So let's talk about our main topic for today. E3 is coming up. It is just over a month and a week away, so 5 weeks from today. Do we have any predictions? We have not done our predictions for E3 yet. I figured this would be a good time to go around the room and see what kind of predictions we have. We can check in afterwards and see how well we do.
So anyone start?
Yeah, anyone
say it. The new PSP.
We're gonna see something
Kidding.
Final Fantasy VII.
You think so, really?
I think another little tidbit.
I would love that. I don't know if they're...
I think we'll see Injustice 2.
I think that's actually...
Oh yeah, and Watch Dogs 2.
Yeah.
A new
And
Assassin's Creed, since they have one at every E3.
Or
So-
3 or 4.
They're actually taking this year off.
What?
They said that last year, that they were taking this year off so that they could concentrate on making a better game after the last two were buggy as all get out.
Ubisoft is going to be like, one more thing.
I'm thinking that Nintendo, while on the show floor, will only have Zelda. I'm thinking in their direct they will actually give NX information, like hard NX information.
Cool.
Even though they kind of said they weren't going to, I think they're going to do it nonetheless. Matt, you're awfully quiet.
Oh. Titanfall 2.
Well, that's already been announced, but yeah, I bet
Oh,
we'll see.
all right.
I bet we'll see it there.
And a story.
I'm guessing we're going to start to see some of the new Star Wars games. EA's been touting that a lot today with the May the 4th thing, but I think we'll actually start to see some trailers or something on E3 for at least one or two of those. We'll finally get some clarity on really what's going on with the PS Neo 4K Xbox 2 1.25 or
Yeah,
whatever.
that was going to be mine. We will see an Xbox 1.5.
So
I think Microsoft's been really mum about it because they don't want any backlash, and they're happy to let Sony absorb
take the brunt of it.
Yeah, take the brunt of it. But I fully expect we'll see some kind of incremental upgrade from the Xbox.
And at least if we can get some idea of what their philosophy is and what they're looking at. Are they looking at the near cell phone, but instead of every year, every 2 years or something? What's their plan? What's their approach? At least we know. May not agree with it. May turn out it's the greatest thing ever.
I have
Hard to
another
say
one.
at this point. Yep, go.
Bloodborne 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But will it be from software?
Yeah. They're done with Dark Souls. They didn't say nothing about Bloodborne.
Yeah, I know. I'm right there with you.
I'd love to see Final Fantasy XII remastered or Final Fantasy VIII remake.
I think we're going to see a rash of Final Fantasy somethings, whether it's, like what they did for the DS, where they did all the repubs, if they'll start expanding the different platforms those are available
They
on.
could announce Final Fantasy IX for console since it came out on PC.
Yeah.
Or release
They
date
could.
for Dissidia on console.
I'm actually going to make an out there bet in that Sony will announce functionality to allow for external storage. Because I know I'm not the only one running out of drive space about now. And it would be sure nice to hook up an external hard drive.
For games, you think, or just for extra stuff like screenshots and saves?
No, for games.
Okay.
Yeah. Trying to think what else.
My what I'd like to see. There's probably almost zero chance of this happening, but I would love to see Wild Arms 6.
Or Wild Arms
Jeez.
20th anniversary remastered edition.
Yeah, something other than Alter Code F, which was horrible. Something Wild Arms related. That would just be nice.
What other things? So looking down.
Do we think we're going to start to see any Marvel tie-in games? I mean, other than the 2 Iron Man games, there really hasn't been a lot to tie in game-wise with the MCU. Do you think they're going to start pushing that?
Nope. And here's why. I can, as a developer, create a freemium game, a free-to-play model game, like Marvel Puzzle Quest, that will attract the masses and generate buku bucks, and I don't have to spend. I only spend like $300,000 or $400,000 on development for that project, or I spend $70 million for a console game that actually has a much narrower spread to appease hardcore gamers. I personally don't think we're going to see a Marvel Cinematic Universe game at all. There's no impetus for them to do so. If somebody wants to license it from them and do it, that's a different story. But as far as them pushing for a console release, I think those days are kind of numbered.
Yeah. Well, it's just since they're doing it with Star Wars, I mean, that was just kind of my thought. Since, it is all Disney now. They're pushing with Star Wars into the game space again, so.
But that's, in my opinion, just looking at the history of gaming from that front, there's already an established user base for Star Wars games, whereas there's not a defined community for Marvel games. You've got like one-off things here and there, but nothing consistent over the years where they can point to and say, we have X number of gamers that would be ready to buy this if we launched a console release platforms. Whereas Star Wars, they actually just re-released those games, so they have hard numbers right now. How many people are buying those remastered versions or emulated versions as a justification for making a full console game? Whereas the only thing I could think that they could point to is like the Spider-Man 2 game, because that's the only one that was really fun. But, that's so old, I don't think it would hold up under any kind of scrutiny.
Yeah.
But there hasn't really been a super successful Marvel-based game that I can think of that wasn't a licensed game. So you had like the Marvel... We just did this in chat the other day. Marvel Legends?
The Ultimate Alliance.
The Ultimate Alliance, yeah. Those were licensed games.
Right.
Not something actually pushed for and published by Marvel. So right. I think we could see some successful licensed games in the future, but I personally think the days of Marvel creating console games is dead. I'll go with a really safe prediction and say that PlayStation VR will be at the event.
There'll be people at the event too.
Yes, there will be people at the event. I'm trying to think of if there's anything. So we know that Sony has to do something amazeballs because they created the perfect E3 conference last year, and now they've got to try and follow that up. So my really, really out there prediction is we see the return of Crash Bandicoot at this E3.
There's been a lot of push for that. Like,
I don't think it'll make up for the because not only do they have to have a great conference, they have to make up for the PS Neo bullshit. I don't think Crash Bandicoot is even enough to do that.
I don't think they have to make up for the Neo as much as they have to explain it to us as to why we should care and why we should get behind that bandwagon. I'm not saying they're going to succeed, but I think that's how they have to smartly use their time, is instead of this cone of silence that they've had this entire time, they need to actually give us the use case for a Neo. Whether we agree with it or not, they got to get the message out there at least. I'm guessing that the majority of gamers will not agree with it, so that may already doom their conference. Unless they possibly, and I have been thinking about this, what if they do a pre-E3 conference where they just do Neo-centric? Here's everything you need to know about the PlayStation 4K Neo. And here's why we're doing it and all that stuff. Get all the negative reaction out first and out there so that people's expectations for the conference are lowered, and then hit them hard with a solid conference. If I was in their marketing department, that's probably what I would do. Yay, nay, good, bad?
That's weird.
If they announced a Final Fantasy VIII remake,
Yeah,
she'd forgive them.
but I don't think they're gonna announce any more remakes.
no, I
You
agree.
know, because they're gonna be doing this one until 2018 at least.
Yep.
Yeah, and then they'll do some more HD reissues or just straight up ports or something.
I'd
But
be fine with a Final Fantasy XII HD reissue.
yeah,
So
I think that's not a bad approach, and we've seen more asymmetric. I'm going to go with the term asymmetric approaches like that. So that's not a bad idea. It'd be interesting if they did that. It'd be interesting if they did a lot more pre-conference announcements, and then the conference really just came down to tying it all together, and here's how it all fits together, and this is why you should love us for it. That makes sense to me.
This is the Sony roadmap for the next year.
Right.
You know, and here's how you fit into it. I think that might be a compelling approach, and maybe desensitize some of the negative feedback.
I'll tell you one thing they can't survive, though. Announcing a No Man's Sky delay.
No,
Oh.
there needs to be no delay on No Man's Sky. That game needs to come out like immediately. Yes, I wholeheartedly agree. That would be suicide.
You might as well just toss every toss at that point, because nobody will buy it anymore after that.
Now, Kate, the Final Fantasy XI mobile game. Do you know about this?
No.
So they are making Final Fantasy XI for phones, and we're not talking like a card game or anything like that. I have seen screenshots of it. It is the actual Final Fantasy XI for phones. So you will be part of an MMO over the phones. This is the worst idea I've ever heard, because I am going to play the hell out of it.
See, I'd be interested in playing, like, God, playing with people over the phone's going to be a nightmare, because they'll be, like, playing for 5 minutes. Oh, gotta go. I was just on the toilet. So, I don't know how will they implement it so you can play alone more?
Well, you could. Yeah, that's a really good question. And if you remember the mission structure of Final Fantasy XI, 5 minutes, you couldn't do anything in 5 minutes.
No, you couldn't.
You couldn't even craft one item in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So yeah, I will be
Let alone
interested.
Find
to
a
see
party, find a good camp spot, get a rhythm. No. So they'll have to do, because, like, you know that there's tons of people who use phones, but most of them only use it for a couple minutes at a time, which this game, no. So they're going to have to do something to make it more solitary play, I guess, where you can hook up with other people, but it's not dependent on it. Which I'd be interested in, because I really wanted to experience the Final Fantasy XI story, because I played some of it, but it was just, like, I couldn't handle giving up my entire life to the game.
Yes, and that is exactly what happened to me for 5 years. My entire life. So.
Also, you can be a Final Fantasy ninja.
Also, I could be the first American Final Fantasy ninja. Thank you very much. But yes, so that's something that's interesting. I can't think of anything else too earth-shattering for E3 other than your Cuphead. I want to see more about that game, and I'm still really upset that it's only on Xbox, but I am glad that it is on PC, because now I got a PC to run it. But yeah, that's probably the only other thing I can think of that I'm really excited for that should be at the show.
Yeah, it's somebody's show to steal this year. It feels like it's kind of a flat year.
Mhm.
So somebody could really come in with something and just, bam, just blow us away.
See, I have a
Um,
feeling that all the conferences are going to be kind of mediocre, and whoever just has like that one cool game is going to win.
So it'll be interesting to see this year because about 30% of the shows will be off E3 shows. So EA pulled out, so EA will be doing their own conferences. We know that Nintendo will be doing its own conferences, and I think there was another one that
Nobody
actually
cares
announced.
about Nintendo anymore.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but I will be interested to see what they do, if anything.
is Bethesda doing another?
Bethesda should be, Ubisoft should be doing their own, and we should, without EA, um, Square does not do their own. No, I take that back. Square did do their own last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did. So we should have the Square one on premises, and then Sony and Microsoft. So yeah, it'll be very interesting. We'll stream those live and have our wonderful talking heads over them if I can get my computer to work. Yeah, which between now and then I should be able to.
I just, like, I want the NX to impress me, but my expectations are so low for it that, like, I'm expecting another gimmicky piece of bullshit.
Well, literally what I'm expecting at this point is the Wii U screen that plugs into a TV. That's it.
'Cause,
I
like,
mean, that's what I'm expecting the NX to be. And if that,
I
yeah,
watched someone try to play Star Fox, and it was just like, what? Just how did they not throw up, and how did they even get past like shooting one thing? So I don't know if it's got anything like that kind of like gyro crap. It's just like no.
I, I do not necessarily always agree with or like Jim Sterling, but he has a about 10-minute video critiquing the game, and there's two reasons that I would recommend that everybody watches it. Number one, he does a great job of explaining that that is a game where innovation is being forced onto it where it does not need to be, because it's not like they've made a bunch of Star Fox games that everybody loves. They made two, and then they kept screwing it up after that instead of giving people what they wanted. Same with, what's that other franchise? Oh, right, Metroid. But I digress. But the second reason why I recommend you watch it is if you know anything about YouTube copyright claims, he does the most brilliant thing that I have ever seen, and it's working. And that is, if you aren't aware, if you're a content creator like us, and you want to monetize a video, and you use Nintendo footage, Nintendo will make a copyright claim, meaning that they get to decide how the money is accrued and or what happens to it. Well, what he did was he looked back through his library of games and catalogs and looked at all the things where claims had been made, and he found that Metal Gear Solid 5 footage and Grand Theft Auto 5 footage and music from Erasure was always copyrighted claimed. And he has Patreon subscribers, so his YouTube videos are supposed to be ad-free anyways. Yet, because he was using Nintendo footage, he knew Nintendo would make a copyright claim on it, so he also inserted Metal Gear Solid 5 footage and Grand Theft Auto 5 and played Erasure at the end of the thing. So all the copyright claims were made by all 5 companies, meaning no one gets any money from the thing, because he's going to let the big companies battle out their claim management amongst themselves, meaning there are no ads on his video as he desired, and he gets to use the footage.
I hate to give that guy accolades for anything, but that's a pretty good idea.
It's genius, and
I know, and I hate saying it.
It
kills me.
Yeah, it is really good. So Let's jump into the news, unless anybody has any last-minute burning predictions. No? All right. News is light, so this will go quick. It has not been a deep news cycle. So one of the things in the title of the show tonight that we need to talk about is the climb for Oculus Rift. Watched a couple videos. We're still waiting for our Vive to come in, but this one specifically for the Rift. It is made by Crytek, so it's pretty. It is a mountain climbing simulator for the Oculus Rift. You are supposed to stand while you do it. But the crazy part is, if you ever wanted a game that relied on touch controllers, this is it, but does not do so. It uses a game controller instead. But this is the part where it gets a little... I want to just see what your initial reactions are to the price. So this is a virtual reality mountain climbing simulator that is pretty, but the price is $49.99.
I can't even afford $49.99, let alone the system to play it on.
How many mountains?
I know there are multiple mountains. I do not have an exact count. But from what I did see of it, I can tell you that it looks pretty repetitive. No matter which mountain you're on.
Yeah. There's only so many buttons you can push.
Yeah.
There's only so many ways to climb a mountain.
Well, and without touch controls, that way seems really tedious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because it basically you have floating hands in the air, and they're synced with where you look with your head, which means that sometimes when you're trying to get in little crags, it can be really, really touchy to get in there. So, yeah, I think it's way high. I think VR prices are just all over the place right now. You've got stuff that's $2 and stuff that's $50. And
they're trying to find the point. They're
Yeah.
trying to... Yeah, that does seem like a bit of an overshoot, though.
I agree. There was a really good analyst insight by a bunch of different analysts into the announcement of the NX and Nintendo's strategy. I just want to read a couple of the quotes because I think they're hilarious. And even analysts are going, "What the heck are you doing?" They're basically saying that there's no way in hell that Nintendo is going to release a Mario mobile game, because if they do that, then why buy into the closed world of Nintendo handheld gaming? So they're going to delay releasing a Mario smartphone game until it's proven that it's the only way to monetize its key intellectual properties on mobile. I'm looking for the other ones that I was like, zing. Yeah, scheduling a hardware launch so late in the fiscal year and excluding any NX sales from guidance suggests a lack of confidence that the device will actually launch in fiscal year 17. It's important to note that a March launch provides Nintendo with wiggle room to delay, as it's still likely to launch well ahead of the key holiday season. I thought that was pretty interesting, and that was Michael Pachter, love him or hate him. But one of the other ones basically said it's crazy because digital distribution for them is only 1/5 of their software revenue. When you look at the PSN, and it's actually made more than all of what Nintendo made last year. It's amazing to me that they are so slow to get on the bandwagon. When I go into the Wii U store, I expect to see every single Nintendo game ever made for every platform in some way to download for the Wii U. And is that the case, Matt?
Nope, not even close.
Not even close. So yeah, it's really interesting, their approach here. And Nintendo stock dropped 8% after the release of the NX announcement and their financial report. So it was just interesting stuff on NeoGAF I saw. Apparently, the Ratchet and Clank movie did $4.7 million on its opening weekend. It is getting kind of panned across the board. But if you were really into that series, you might want to go check it out.
I haven't had a chance to go see it yet, so hoping maybe this weekend, but I'm not sure.
A little more movie news. Captain America Civil War has already passed $200 million and it hasn't even opened in the United States yet. So that's a good sign. It is getting a giant Rotten Tomatoes score.
So it's still is it still at like 98?
Yeah, it's way up there. So that's very good to me. The easiest platinum trophy on the PlayStation has been identified, and I will be obtaining it shortly just to keep pace with Matt and his 2 new ones.
It's actually down to 93, which is almost awesome instead of.
Oh well, I'm not going to go see it then.
Exactly.
And then I only have a couple more pieces of news on my list, and most of them, to be honest, are movie news. Because, like I said, there's really not a whole lot going on. Nintendo said why they're not launching the NX in the holiday season this year. And that reason is that
they don't like money.
Loading. Buffering. So they are saying this is so Nintendo, I might add, if I can get into it. No, they're not launching it for Christmas. So you don't have... Yeah, nice. All right. So their answer is that they have... Pop-up ads are evil and need to die. Okay. Nintendo held a QA session and an investor meeting, and a Twitter user translated the Japanese session for the American audience. So they're basically saying Nintendo is hoping to launch the NX when it's in a ready state, which again, going back to the fact that they could delay it past March, is they're saying that delivering stable content is more crucial than releasing it during the holiday period, and that by March, the system will have a healthy supply of launch content. But it would be a dry spell if the software lineup stagnates after, due to which Nintendo is also making sure there's a steady flow of content coming the system's way throughout the year and time ahead. So basically, launching a console 101, which they completely ignored for the Wii U. But it will be interesting. I do still think they're going to say something during their E3 presser. Let's see, what else do I have on my...
I've got a couple things quick.
Go for it.
Rock Band 4 did announce their 2016 roadmap, and the May update did drop this week already. It includes the main new features are double kick, so you can run 2 pedals, and the Battleborn characters, I forgot their names already, Thorn and Nico, will be available in the Rock Shop, plus a bunch of fixes and things. There were some Big Rock endings that were crashing the game, and those are fixed. A couple other graphical and game crashing issues have been fixed. And then the rest of the year, next month they're going to be launching Practice Mode, which has been a high demand item for them. Then they're taking a break for the rest of the summer, and in the fall they're going to launch the Ion adapter for the Ion drum kit, the music library enhancements, which they've been kind of cagey on so far what that really means, and the expansion pack, which we also don't know what that means. And then moving into the holidays will be the synchronous online multiplayer, so be able to finally play Rock Band across the interwebs as we did in the days of yore.
Yay, I can't wait. Star Trek, the new television show coming to CBS in 2017, is going to air its first episode on TV and then the rest new episodes after that will only be on their online service, which is super annoying. What'd you say, Matt?
Yeah, no, I was just agreeing with you. Sorry.
No, you kind of like hiccuped out, so there I wasn't sure. The writer of Dragon Ball Evolution apologizes for Dragon Ball Evolution.
That was my
Yay.
favorite piece of news.
Only took, what, 10 years?
Yeah, right. So
And making Spike such a terrible, terrible Piccolo. Like,
I love how I refer to him as Spike.
he's gonna be Spike forever. Like, come on.
Few Star Wars things that have been going on with obviously the May the 4th going on. There was a sales on the PlayStation Store and on the Xbox Store. Xbox announced backwards compatibility for both the Force Unleashed titles today. And as we mentioned earlier, there was a new contender added to the EA Pantheon providing Star Wars games, and that is Respawn. The makers of Titanfall are going to be making a third-person action-adventure game set in the Star Wars universe, joining Visceral Dice, Capital Games, BioWare, Motive as the main companies who are currently working or have Star Wars titles out there.
the Avengers Infinity War Part 1 and 2 are not.
That's not their titles.
Yeah, that's not their titles, but they're also separate stories. So that was announced in an interview today, actually, with the Russos, the directors of the film. So they said they haven't come up with the titles yet, but yes, they will change them before they are launched. I think that's everything I have. Oh, no, I've got one more. So Modern Warfare, the new Call of Duty was announced. It's called Infinite War. It already, right now on YouTube, has over a 50% dislike rating.
I am part of that dislike because I saw the trailer and it was just like this. Oh my gosh! And then they used Space Oddity, and I was like, oh, I just stab it, just stab it till it's just kill it. And then at the end, it's like it shows like Soap and everyone. You get those, you recognize those voices, you know. And then I got all excited for the remake. Yeah, the people are more excited for the remakes than this stupid game.
Yeah, and so speaking of the remakes, they are remaking Modern Warfare 1, and you cannot buy it separately. You can only buy it with Infinite War.
In the Uber Ultra Mega Callist of Dutyist pack, right?
Correct. The Ultra Bro edition.
There's got to be some way of getting it.
Oh, I'm
thought
sure
it was-
they'll. I'm
pretty
sure
sure
they
it
will
was,
offer it 2 weeks to a month after, but they're gonna try and milk everybody for pre-orders for this because, I mean, I'll give it to them. It's a brilliant strategy because Modern Warfare holds a dear place in a lot of people's hearts. So to see that remastered could be really interesting.
I just want the remake of the first and second one, and then just stop, and then just kill it from there, and let's do what they did with X-Men Days of Futures Past. Like, let's just pretend nothing happened after that. Just Modern Warfare 1 and 2, and after that there was no other Call of Duty. That's where it died. It died happy.
See, I will even get on the bandwagon that if they sold Modern Warfare Remastered by itself, I would actually buy that.
Yeah, no,
Like,
hands down.
I actually like that Call of Duty game a lot.
Both of those were phenomenal. They changed everything. They changed the game, and it was awesome.
Yeah, so that's going to bring us then.
Speaking of YouTube videos,
Yes.
liking trailer for the new Ghostbusters reboot is the most disliked YouTube video in history.
Wow. I missed that. That's fantastic.
Wow.
What is the current rating?
I don't know. I just saw the headline. I didn't even bother looking because I haven't even seen the trailer. I don't want to.
Like, here's the weird thing about Kate McKinnon in that trailer, or in that movie, I guess. She is very funny, she's awesome in SNL and everything, but I've never been more attracted to her than in the movie.
It's currently at
I have no clue why.
229,415 likes and 713,141 dislikes.
Oh
So
my
it's
gosh.
almost a 4-to-1. Well, not quite. It's an over 3-to-1 ratio of dislikes to likes.
Wow. All right then. Well, that brings us to final thoughts for the night. As I said, it was a quick show, but we've managed to work it all so we end almost right on time. Kate, final thoughts.
May the 4th be with you.
And Turo.
Stop rebooting movies and stop making Call of Duty games. Yeah.
Matt.
This was actually a last week thing, but they just put out a new Darkwing Duck comic.
That's awesome.
When there's trouble, you call DW. Let's get dangerous.
And my final thought is actually, thanks to Matt, I know that there is a Mask comic coming out.
Yes, you were duly notified.
I am super stoked about it because Mask is amazing, and that is all. Housekeeping items, if you do like the podcast, make sure you like and subscribe. Leave your comments in the box below. If you've got questions, you can write in to us at gamersledge@gmail.com or both@gamersledge.com. Facebook.com/gamersledge, Twitter.com/gamersledge, or @gamersledge. That works too. And that means we'll end the show the way we always do, with a fantastic joke. I thought I'd stick with the Star Trek theme this evening. No, Star Trek. It's May the 4th, so it's a Star Trek joke. How many ears does Spock have?
How many what?
How many ears does Spock have?
2.
No.
He does have 2 ears.
He has 3. He has the left ear, the right ear, and the final front ear.
Shut up.
Until next week,
please.
game on!
Game on.
Game on.
Joke off. Joke off!